Oof, smells like fresh French bread. Can't beat this. Also nice crust. It's well worth the wait. Oh, that's good. Yeah. So today we're going to talk about how to basically make fresh bread at home with a bread maker. This is a 1980s Oyster 1 pound deluxe bread maker. There are much more advanced ones today that's bigger than 1 pound. There's like 2 or 2.5 pounds. And I'll leave a few links below for the newer bread makers, but you could probably, this one is pretty awesome because you just put everything in there and it does it by itself and makes fresh bread in the morning for you. My friend also gave me this cookbook as well, but I was going to do an unboxing video, but I didn't need to because it was really simple. It's just a machine. It has the I guess the pan and as well as the paddle that's inside. We just cleaned all the stuff with a little bit of dishwashing liquid and rinsed everything off, cleaned it out, make sure there's no dust in it, and we just played around with the settings so we could actually do it. There's only 6 buttons. That play button is actually a arrow button, and then the other ones are like select should be enter, and stop should be reset, and of course start should be start. But we also need a measuring cup, some active yeast, and all this stuff I'll leave in the link below, and I'll leave the list and the recipe below as well. All-purpose flour. But yeah, most of the stuff is pretty inexpensive if you think about it. The only thing that was pricey was the yeast. The salt was cheap. All the salt, sugar, flour, water, that's all cheap. Sugar's cheap. You know, so all this stuff is pretty inexpensive. The only thing expensive was the yeast. So you need about 3/4 cup of water, 2 cups of flour, 1 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, a teaspoon of salt, and 1 1/4 teaspoon of yeast. I'll leave again the links and the stuff below. You put all that stuff in the pan and basically let it, do its thing for about 4 hours and 21 minutes. So we basically measured out all the fun ingredients, including the 2 cups of flour, and you basically add all this stuff in the same sequence they listed it there. So you can add the water first. And they said to use lukewarm water. We just basically used nice, regular cold water from the tap, which is fine. But basically they said to use room temperature water, which is fine as well. I think most of our tap water is pretty okay. But it'll also kill the yeast or something like that, or it won't rise or something. But we put all the fun ingredients and measurements in approximately because we just use a teaspoon and just measure the stuff out. We put a little bit more salt and it tastes really good. I really love the the salt that on the recipe is actually pretty good already. I think we actually put a little tad more. Then at the almost last, you put the flour in. All this stuff goes water on the bottom, and then you put the salt, sugar, flour, and then lastly you put a little bit of yeast. That 1 1/4 spoon of yeast in there, and then let it do its thing. That's really about it. That's it. You just put all the ingredients in, and that's just set the thing. We basically set it for French bread, medium toast, or medium lightness, I guess, or cooking medium, and just let it go by itself. It starts kneading very slowly, kneading all the ingredients together, and I think this thing automatically temperature regulates the thing so that it makes the yeast grow, which is nice. But as you can see, it's already doing all the job for you on that non-stick pan, and it's pretty neat. It is pretty neat. And we were amazed because this was like something we never had before. And since someone gave it to us, we decided to, hey, why not make a video out of it? I mean, there's probably hundreds of videos online talking about bread makers and stuff, but this is pretty cool. Our reaction to this was pretty nice. We love French bread, and we wanted to just have some French bread and pay like $3-4 for it every day. But it makes 1 pound in this small tiny little French bread maker, or this little bread maker. The ones they have online are close to like 2.5 pounds of bread, which is perfect for a large family. But for us, a regular small size 1 pound bread will last us probably a couple of days maybe. And it's fresh bread, no preservatives, no weird stuff, just basically flour and stuff. And after about the first 30 minutes of the dough kneading, it is a pretty rough consistency. Oop, there it goes. It's moving again. It stops every so often, so it lets it rise. So this is only 30 minutes in, and about an hour in, it looks really nice. Notice that nothing is sticking to the sides. It's just really nice. The texture is really good. There's a lot of kneading going on, and it's just letting it rise. We're just playing with it because we're so interested in this thing. This is the first time we ever have a we don't have to do this ourselves. My parents love making bread, but she's starting to have some muscle aches and stuff like that. And it takes a lot of work, so this bread maker was a godsend, which is really, really cool. And especially if you could reuse products instead of throwing it into trash or basically dump in landfills, or even as long as you reuse the stuff that still works, it sounds great. You don't fill the environment full of trash. You always reuse. And this thing is in perfect condition, so it's perfect. So after about 4.5 hours, it finally beeps, and it is complete. Of course, you could run a delay on it, and wearing some heavy oven mitts, or actually this is for our rotisserie chicken mitts. We pulled it out and put it down so it could cool. You want to hurry up and take it out after it's done, so that water doesn't condense. There's no condensation on it, making it soggy or anything. But it pops out pretty easily. There's a little paddle. You might want to rotate the paddle back and forth about a quarter turn or something just to loosen it. But overall, it's a nice crusty bread. Really smells great for the French bread at home, which is really cool. I think we'll probably do this every 2 days or so. It's that good. So it's also very convenient. It's not exactly a lot of work to do because it does most of the work. There is a delay function so that, look at how thick that bread is. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is such a thick, nice French bread. And the crust is really crunchy. And I think we set it to medium. If we set it to dark, I think it would have been a little different. But overall, this is perfect already. The top is, the crust on top isn't as much as on the side, but overall, this is really good. Turned out really good. This is a 1 pound of bread, and normally you get French bread, it's like $2. What? About $2 at the supermarket. It doesn't taste this good because there's usually not enough salt or sugar. Oh yeah. That is good. That is really good.